Why do we tell stories? When we sit down and talk to each other, when we stop and reflect, when we're in conversation together, when we meet strangers, we are doing something which I want to call storying. We're telling stories, and as we're storying, the story gets storied, gets told. You could put it in here, telling to told, but I'm going to put it just down here. There's a telling relationship, and there's a sense in which the story is told in a certain way. And all that Map and Talk is about, therapy with a map is about, is having these moments where we're sensing, we are sharing, and there's various ways of sensing and sharing and rediscovering the story, and there's a process of retelling. Although it might be that we tell stories sometimes in very closed ways, every time we tell a story there's a kind of telling, and it's told and experienced in a different way. And we're looking out for mapping, the mapping that's there's a kind of mapping in the process of telling the story. But what we're looking for as we tell stories, we're looking to reconnect with our memories and reconnect with our experiences, to see if there are shared experiences or different memories. And all the time, I want to put it like this, that we are restorying, retelling our stories. And this is both the story, the content, what the story is about, and the process of telling. This is the process, if you like. This is how the story is told. This is what the story is about. Let's put what there. And this is how. And this restoring and the retelling brings out a new story. Well, it may have the same story. Restored. It's almost like a restoring. Sometimes a forgotten or broken story in the retelling comes together and discovers a congruence or a fluency or a narrative coherence. What mapping as we talk is doing, tracking the shape of the story, is we're looking out for patterns. You might use the word looking out for maps, but maps within maps. But the patterns give us something in the shape of the story that, the pattern in that story, you might call it the plot, the shape, the interactions, these allow us to say, well, that pattern of that story belongs in that story, or in the retelling, the pattern's changed a bit, and that makes it worth thinking about the difference in the original telling. We're seeking to draw out patterns from stories in a way that allows the sharing and the sensing and the co-creativity and the wording and the rewording to be in an open dialogue, creative. Maybe one might even use in a serious way the word playful, as Winnicott talks about it. We're creating a space for being better at telling our stories, and ultimately, you might say, developing our capacity to author and co-author our lives. And there's more about this process of orchestrating and re-orchestrating and retelling elsewhere on the Map and Talk website and in my book, Therapy with a Map.